And I think we're live, but I'm going to do some testing, which is why we are live a little bit early, but also kind of a little bit late. I was originally going to start at 6, but then I decided to start at 7, but then I didn't need that much time, and I want to make sure that it's not laggy like it was last time. So I'm going to do this here. Cool. So I want to make sure that everything's good. So since I assume nobody's here yet, I'm just going to get set up. And then I'm going to simultaneously check and make sure that everything's going properly. All right. So it seems like the stream is less laggy. I lowered the bit rate. This camera seems to be not laggy, so I can show you CoffeeOS pretty nicely. That'll be fun. And then at the same time, we're going to do some more roasting. Yesterday I did 5 roasts, and the goal was to make the best affogato. Those coffees are resting at the moment. So today what we're going to do is play around with different drum speeds, and I want to see how much difference it makes in the amount of time it takes to get to the specific color that I want. Hey, what's up? How do I pronounce this? Aguapa Terra. I appreciate the seems good so far, because last time it was so laggy and annoying. And when I watched the stream afterwards, I was really disappointed. But anyway, so I am going to fix hair. My hair is unfixable. There's a bunch of oil in it, and it doesn't. You're just gonna have to deal with it. That's my hair. Okay, so I'm going to go over here to my roast curves, and I'm going to so I'm going to use the same Dennis Hodder, which I think this profile works really well. Oh! It's bad. So wait, then what is Aguapa, and now I don't have to worry about mispronouncing. What is Aguapa Terra? So my goal here, I'm gonna do the Rob Who's thing and mess with the drum speed, even though that wasn't fully what he was doing. So profiles, I have it cut off so you can, let's see, what can you see? Wait, what? Why are you only able to see? Oh, maybe it's just laggy. Okay, wait, can you see? Oh, you can see. Okay, so I just gotta check and see how far you can see. So the mouse goes off the screen here, but there's a little bit more over on this side, but you don't really need to see that except for when I'm doing a couple things, and so yeah, whatever. So you're gonna see I changed Dennis's oh, it is one N. Sorry Dennis, I added an extra N to your name. I will remove it in the future. So yeah, Dennis here. I really like the YouTube emojis. That's so funny because I hate the YouTube emojis. Okay, them as a thing, they're cute. But every time I'm looking for an emoji that I want, like you get this little window that's like this big, and then there's like 1,000 random emojis you've never seen before, and so it takes so long to pick one that I just don't use them. Okay. But so anyway, like I said, we're going in here. We're using the 15 degrees higher than what Dennis originally set up with a higher preheat temp. And there's a new version of the OmniFlux firmware that has a new calibration process, and I was really hoping that I was going to be able to get it and then play around with it and see how it goes. But unfortunately, it's the weekend, and so they did not push the update yet, and so I can't update. So we're going to be instead using the old calibration method, and I think because I calibrated it last time, it should be pretty good right now, so I'm not going to recalibrate unless the first roast shows me that I need to. But it should be okay. So I want to start with a preheat temp higher than before, so I'm doing 250. Classic drum direction, and the end condition bean temp at 250 just because I don't want it to drop on its own. We're still doing an inlet temp curve, and what was the other thing? Oh, here. we're messing with the drum temp. I mean the drum speed. So we're gonna start. Let's see. I'm gonna drop the. Okay, wait. I want to go extreme here. I'm gonna start at like 280. Is that okay? 280? Is that too high? Am I gonna regret it? Maybe 270. I'm gonna start really high, but we're also gonna start with a super high drum speed. And then we're gonna slow down as it gets cooler. And we're gonna slow down to like really slow, like 20 RPM. But we're only gonna do that near the end. So I'm gonna add another point here, and I'm gonna do it something like this. And we'll put this at like 30 here. So this is gonna be really weird, and we're gonna see what happens. And it's gonna be fun. And so we're gonna call this, not hotter, we're gonna call it hot and fast. And we're gonna see what happens. Update profile. In the meantime, I should probably turn everything on so that it can heat up. But this time, we've got stuff to do while it's heating, so we're not just wasting time. So let's turn Airwave on. And we're going to be roasting specifically to 65 Agtron. Because that's what Dennis did, and it was really good. When I just followed Dennis's straight profile, it was really good, so we're going to stick with that. We're going to go to Device Settings, Connections, Airwave Connect, Connect to Airwave. Airwave is connected. And then we're going to go to Auto. Huh? What's going on here? Did the new firmware that I just downloaded? Wait, I didn't update it. I updated it yesterday, but we're fine. What's going on here? Oh, that's why. It's because Airwave is connected to. Hold on, let me turn device input, not device input, device settings. Connections. We're going to turn off Bluetooth. And then we're going to turn Bluetooth back on. And we're going to Airwave connect. And we're going to connect. There we go. Okay, so then we turn it on. And when we switch over here, we're going to switch, let me sync. And we're going to do Dennis hot and fast. We're also going to change to dark mode so you can see better. Swing bang. Okay, while that heats up, what we're going to do is we're going to go over to CoffeeOS, and I'm going to keep figuring out what happens at all these individual grind sizes. But at the same time, oh, by the way, Ben, I did this on the last stream. Just for you. But I just realized that I closed OBS on my screen. Okay, now I can see again. So, yeah, this one's solved. I remembered the parity algorithm, which was literally this. You go, this is what I did wrong last time. You go like this. These two, back, top. This goes down, top. This goes down, top. Then front, then this back up, front, this back up, back twice, right two twice. Wait, that wasn't right. Right two twice, back twice. I think it's front first. Front, back two twice, right two twice. Nope, I still got it wrong. Well, good thing that was already solved, because today, and wait, where'd it go? Oh, we're moving on to the 5x5. So this will be solved before the end of the stream. And it's going to sit on the particle analysis coaster for now, because first, we're going to get ready to do this. So I'm going to open up CoffeeOS. It's okay that the Omni was disconnected, OmniFlux disconnected. Okay, we're going to close this guy, and we're going to go back to the grinder manager. We're connected to Omni. Kinu M68, this guy here. And we're going to start just updating random grind settings so that I can see what the actual circumstance is all the way through the range. So I'm going to stop doing that. Let's start at, because I want to do this a lot of times. So let's do each number, each whole number. So we've already done 0. So let's start here at 0 rotations, 1 number, 0 clicks. So let me start from 0 here. I'm going to screw this guy all the way in. Still haven't solved a 3x3? How is that possible? The 3x3s are so smooth and easy. Quick and fast. Hot and dry. Make sure that everything's out of here. So I actually discovered yesterday while I was doing this, really weirdly, that this brush, I don't know what it's made out of. This brush, I also don't know what it's made out of. This one comes with Omni, and this one came with, I don't remember what. I actually think this came with the espresso machine that I bought in China by a brand called Gumilai. No? That was a different brush. No, this came with, I don't know if it actually is a true accessory of the thing, but I bought the Baratza Virtuoso in China. So it's 220 volts, and I didn't end up bringing it back to the States. But this brush came with it, but I bought it from some random seller on Taobao. So I don't know if this is like actually sent with Baratza stuff. Would it be better to start coarse so there's less contamination from residual fines? Yes, you're a genius. But what I was going to say about these two brushes is this one seems to, it's got really fine bristles and it's really soft, but it soaks up all the fines, and then I have to do this and like flick them onto the thing. Whereas this one doesn't seem to stick to anything, and I'm wondering if that's like a hack. Good for different purposes. So, let's start mega coarse, like you said. We're going to go, in fact, I'll just do this. So that's the last grind setting. 3 rotations, 5 numbers, and I should make it closer so you can see. So 3 rotations, 5 numbers, 0 clicks. We're going to start at 3 rotations, 4 numbers, 0 clicks. So right now it says that the D50 would be 1075. Let's see what we get. I'm going to open it up. We're going to go to particle analyzer, and we're going to particle analyze. So 340. So we're at 0. We're stuck at 0. And grind everything out, and then dust everything off so that we don't get any fines contamination. Fines contamination. Fines contamination. Cool. Okay. Good. Let's do that. Okay. Now turn. Okay, so 1 full rotation, 2 full rotations, 3 full rotations, and then what did I say? 5, 3, 4. 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so is that at 0? Yeah. 3, 4, 0. And let's get our disgusting, awful Sprouts coffee, which I need to clarify one more time. Love Sprouts. Great vegetables. Bad coffee. I'm going to get my 1 coffee bean. I'm going to drop it into the Kinu M68. Give it a gentle grind. And then give it a violent shake to make sure we've got no retention. Go backwards a little bit, make sure we're nice and in there. Oh, one other thing that I should do, I'm going to get Omics started because if you want the most precise water activity results, you want to let your coffee kind of like acclimate in the internal environment for a little bit rather than just testing immediately. And I never have the patience for that. So instead, I don't usually wait. But since we're waiting anyway, I may as well just let it, sit there for a while. So, fill this up. And if anybody is watching this and in the market for an Omics, buy it now. It's on mega sale because of Black Friday. Okay, so let me do some bean sweeping here. Actually, let me put this behind me. Do some bean sweeping. If you buy the Roaster Barista bundle, it comes with one of these. Otherwise, you gotta prep your samples like a caveman with your kind of awesome metal ruler. Okay. Let's let this guy sit in here and acclimate. I'm gonna dump my left. Whoa! Look how tiny that bean is. In comparison to the average bean size. In comparison to one that looks really weird. That is a tiny bean. Okay, I'm going to dump this back. Okay. Close it up. Okay. Oh, and then one other thing, I'm going to send the link to the stream to a friend of mine and tell him he needs to watch. Copy. I wonder if people are going to join now because this is actually the starting time that I said that it was going to be at. Where is Salman? Watch my stream. And then I'm also going to send it to... I got to open WeChat. Okay, this is totally unrelated, but if someone from WeChat ever decides to watch this stream randomly, I need you to know. You guys updated WeChat and now it automatically closes all the time. And I don't think that that is a good update. It's a public service announcement. Okay. Back to what we were doing. Got to make sure that we solve a center of this Rubik's Cube. We've already got this one mostly solved, so we'll start with green. There's a green center there, and we'll go... Okay, so let's match this green edge and that one. Now we just need one more green, which is... Where is it? Where is it? There's no more green on this cube. Oh, there it is. Okay, so then that goes here. And then we will put that where it goes. Okay, one green center. All right, let's move on to this. Make sure we don't get anything clinging on. Make sure that we get everything that came around the edge. Okay, just like yesterday. That is unrelated. That's all powder from this morning. That's all this stuff here that just accumulated at the bottom. Not stuff that was in here, so we all good. And the goal here is going to be, actually, you know what, I'm only going to do this once, so I'm not going to need this anymore. I'm going to move it out of the way in my little pile back here, and I'm going to move Omics up here so that I have more room. Ooh, message. Okay, so looking at the roast, are you doing a declining drum rate or just as slow as possible the whole time? I'm wondering if we're going to see a large discrepancy between whole bean and ground eggtron. Yeah, so my goal for the first one, just for fun, to play around with it, see what happens, is going to be start as fast as possible with a really high heat preheat, and then just slowly go down the whole time, and then drop a lot at the end. So we're going to go down to 20 RPM a minute. The default was 50, or maybe 55. So it'll be interesting to see how this goes. Are we preheated? Oh yeah, we're definitely preheated. Okay, before I get into that, I don't want my screen to slip. Oh, Omni's got low battery. That's not ideal. Okay, oh, I didn't test it though. Let's test our coffee first. I'm all over the place here. Beyond range. Oh, because I tested the table. Apparently the color of this table is not within the range of good coffee. 8.9%! My coffee is drying out. I need to roast it faster. Test the water activity. While that tests, we'll do our first check of these grounds. Now these are quite coarse. So that's going to definitely... In fact, I'm not going to use the auto disperse because I know that that's just going to fly all over the place and not be very... look at that. Sweet, low drum should have a higher heat on the bean, but lower energy transfer. Let's see what happens. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm expecting, but I could be totally wrong because I'm going to totally flip it the next time, but we're aiming for 65 eggtron both times. Okay, test. What do we get? So the smallest particles were in like the 964 range, and the largest ones are all the way upwards of 1800. But most of them are in, well, the D50, not most of them. I'm starting to kind of understand how to read particle analysis. So, like, we have one particle that was 280 microns. I guess this is also a good way to look at it. Most of them are coarse, but there are still a few tiny particles in there. So I'm just going to keep that going. 156 particles. It's so funny because I only saw the huge ones, and then as I like dig my nose in there, I'm like, oh yeah, 1, 2, 3. Oh, there's a lot of micro particles in there also. Okay, so I'm going to dump that out. So that was one test. Okay. And let's, okay, so 0.490, that's really interesting. Yesterday I was roasting, literally just yesterday, and the moisture content was 9.3, and the water activity was 0.53 something, 535 I think it was. Dropped a lot. Okay, goes in, 65 agtron. Let's not miss our spiff. Okay, I need to make sure that we are ready to record our color, and then I need to make sure that my calibration position is good so that we're getting the same calibration colors last time. Okay, so that'll start automatically, ideally. And roast. Start automatically. Boom. Okay, we're going. So let's make sure that the color of the coffee is like 120 something. If it's not, so it's going to take a second to average out. If it's not, I might need to move it ever so slightly to the left. 118, 119. Ever so slightly to the left. Maybe there. Yeah. Okay, we're pretty good. Okay, let's get back to particle analysis. Oh wait, I gotta make the curves available. So many things to remember. Live. Wait, okay, now we're good. Why did it stop? Oh, okay. I was like, what's going on here? Okay, back to the analysis. So let's put our next scoop. I'm going to take this chunko chaff and avoid it. Alright, dump that guy on there. I'm going to do the same thing because there's too many massive particles. I don't want to get them The reason that I want to do it like that is if I use the auto dispersion feature on Omni, if the particles get launched all the way to the ring around the edges, they clump together. So Omni only recognizes what's in the inner circle, not what's in the inner circle, not all the way around the edge. So there's this much of the area is actually being read, and the rest of it ignores because it's going to just totally skew the results. And with these massive particles like this, if I use the auto dispersion, all the massive particles will immediately jump to the edges, and then I won't get them in my distribution. So what's this bring the results down to? So we're at 1564. If the trend continues, the result right now is if you have the auto dispersion feature turned on, it checks to see if the particles are stacked in the middle like this, if they're clumped together. And if it is, then it will disperse them. If it checks and sees that the particles are already spread out, it won't do it. And the issue is, when it does do it, the technique is vibrate once and then check and see where all the particles are and see how many it's counting. And if it counts, then it vibrates again and checks again, and then vibrates again and then checks again. And if it counts more particles in one test over the other, it uses that test as its results, because then it knows there were more particles that separated, and then eventually they clump around the edges, and so it doesn't use that test unless there were more particles than in the center. So what happens is, the first time, if it does do the auto dispersion, it takes 4 images, but then only uses one of them. It doesn't average them because that would give you a weird result. But so it might be merp, 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 and then be actually this was the best result, so it uses this one, and so the final result is 1,468 particles, and then the micron size is 1,200. But then if you test again, it's the actual state of the particles is this one, and so these two images are different, and so you get a different result if you immediately test again after doing the auto one. So a lot of people are when I use the auto feature and then I test it again, I'm getting different results, and they think it's that because Omni's not consistent. But if you test 3 times, then it's different. Because the last 2 times will be the same. My mom's calling. I'll have to text her my link to my stream and tell her I can't answer. Are you connecting a pair of headphones? Other device, no. Ow! There we go. Oh crap. Oh, we're only at 95. We're good. I gotta tell my mom that I am streaming. Hold on a sec. Okay. We're at 89 Agtron. Getting close. Okay. That was... Did I just test that? I got distracted now. I guess there's a good way to find out. I'm just going to test again. And if I get the same result, I'll delete it. I must have moved it though also. Yeah, that's the same. Okay, so I'm going to delete that result. I'm swiping the wrong direction here. I'm smelling cracks. I don't want to miss this. $83.3. Let's see. 80, 79. Fan speed 80%. 8-minute roast time so far. 77 agtron. We got 10 to go. That should be a new color. It's not indigo, it's 10 to go. $68. Oh, it's fluctuating. There's probably some uneven roasting going on in there. Because of my really slow, we're down to 45 RPM. But we're gonna reach our target roast level before we get to the slower drum speed. So I might have to change that. 68. Six. We're kind of fluctuating around here. 65. We're probably about at 65. Alright, it doesn't seem like we have a ton of smoke, so hopefully my fire alarm doesn't go off this time. And while that cools, I'm going to close this back up, and I'm going to yeah, okay. So while that cools off, let's do it. Oh wait, I forgot to dust this guy off. Alright, next one. Alright, same thing. We've got a bunch of massive particles. I'm just going to use my fingers because they're so big. They're literally just not that many. All the fines are stuck in the bottom. So we'll get to them. But for now, test. Sweet. 1,640 is that one. Okay, dumps that off. Next one. So I'm going to adjust my roast curve so that it gets to the slower drum speed. Because that didn't work out ideally the way that I wanted it to. That part fell out. Couple pieces of chaff in there, but they're mostly good. Some flaky, massive particles. Okay, test. Getting smaller though, the average on that one is 1165. So our D50 is down to 1477 average. Next one. Most of the rest of this is very fine. So I am going to use the auto for that one. 854. That really brought the average down. Next one. Okay. Big piece of chaff in there. I gotta try to remove that. 2 big pieces. Okay, I wish I had tweezers here. Hi? No, because I can't blow. I can't get that big chunk of chaff. Move that out to the edge. Okay. There we go. Okay. Next one. Are those scissors or cookies? Whoa! That's my dad's no longer in use surgical scissors. Used for you clamp and then they sit there so you can like do a facelift on someone and then you like grab their skin and then you lock it and you like pull it back. Perfect for coffee science. 553, that really brought our average down. Okay, next one. Okay. Next one, next one, next one. Definitely building up some static here. I should get the next batch of coffee ready. Ooh, 1062 on that one. It's going back up. Pretty big particle. I guess we do have quite a few massive particles on there. I'm finally starting to understand like what a particle size distribution is, because I was very much under the impression that it was the same as a count distribution, where it's like how many large particles versus how many small particles. But then I kind of started to realize if I have like 8,000 microparticles and one huge particle, the amount of space taken up by the huge particle versus how much space is taken up by the 1,000 microparticles is about the same. That's so staticky. So what matters is what the water's going to touch. What didn't connect that time. There we go. Okay, so let me grab some more coffee. Yeah, it's hard to go through 40 pounds of coffee with hard to go through 40 pounds of coffee when you're roasting 160 grams at a time. So 1116 on that one. Alright, I don't need to test this one, so I think I'm pretty done with Onyx for this on this front. I'll move Onyx back here, I don't have any room, here. Alright, dump this guy in. This can go back in the bag. Right like that. Okay. Oh, but first I need to change it so that, how long was that roast? If we go to log, that roast ended up taking, oh, what was the final agtron? 72 it says. I don't think that's accurate. That algorithm needs adjustment, but we'll have to measure it later. Get an actual final distribution. But that one took 9 minutes, 26 seconds. And if we look at our profile, hot and fast, wait, what? It was supposed to get down to 20 RPM by 8 minutes. But at 9:26, it was still rather high. Let me go back to that log again. Let's see what happened here. So, drum pressure, drum temp, where's drum speed? RPM. See, look, it bottomed out at 45. Why did it not listen to what I said to do? And here it got down, it went down from 50 all the way down to 45 and then it just quit. Is there like a safety feature on that says like you can't go slower than 45 RPM? Interesting. Let me see. Will it let me? I can't. Well, can I? It could go down to 35. I'm going to reset the counter because I just emptied it a second ago. Right before now. Trigger, sensitivity, no, that's not what I need. ROEST. No, that's what I was just looking at. Machine. Target, preheat, default preheat target, 30 degrees. Default chamber, that's fine. Fan percentage when idle, beam cooler light. Well, I am totally confused. I'm going to put the drum speed back up. We're going to put it at 65. Fun. Okay, well, I need to move this out of the way for sure, no matter what. I don't know what to expect. Clearly it allows you to go down to 35, so what I'm going to do is we're going to go back to profiles, and we're going to go to Kaku, Dennis, hot and fast. And then we're going to go in here and do that. And we're going to have this go 35 and this stay at 35. I don't want to do a flat 35 because I don't want it to be the same speed the whole time. I specifically want to play around with the changing speed. I want it to slow down throughout the roast, and like as here where it's getting cooler, I want it to also get slower. So I'm going to update this profile. Let's just see what happens. And if that doesn't work, then I'll try something else. So sync. Okay, then it's hot and fast. Let me get the other tray. Okay. And 3, 2, oh wait, we're not ready. Boom. 3, 2, 1, go. What the heck? Why? That's not the first time that's happened, and I specifically even asked ROEST what the dealio is when it does that, and they said, I don't know. What was that? Why did it do that? Okay. again. Sorry, and roast. Don't need that. Okay, and 3, 2. Wait, air temperature is dropping. Oh, because I set it at 260, that's right. Three, 2, 1, go! I think it's because the bean temperature here was over 250, and so it immediately dropped. I think that's a software bug. Okay. Good there. And let me switch to the live view. Make sure that OmniFlux is okay. Yeah, OmniFlux is doing well. All right. Didn't mean to bump that. We good. Okay, let's move on. We have a couple more of these to do. So that was 11:60. Oh, I haven't. I keep forgetting. Did I already do that one or no? Let's see what the results are. No, but I still want to delete that one because it didn't disperse. They must have thought it was already distributed because there's some grounds all over the place. I was hoping that would work, but it did not, so we're going to do this instead. Okay. Much better. This way better. Much better. Man, I missed the Amanda show. Okay, that one's 710 average. By that I mean D50. Does D50 count as the average? Is that the same thing? No, wait, there's actually a mean, isn't there? Yeah, the mean. The average is 1534 right now. The average for that test would have been 881. Oh, I don't know if you can see that. Here, this is what I meant. The average for the mean for this one test is 881. But the D50 is 710. This is super interesting. I don't think this grinder is great for like very, very, very coarse grinds. Because like, we're getting basically stuff all over the place. Most of it is in this range, clearly. But, yeah. I think these burrs are more designed clearly for espresso. What are we at? I wasn't looking. Okay, so the color value you can see is going like whoop. Or actually, I should match the screen. It's going up a little bit. As soon as it hits the peak yellow, that's like the dry end, and then it will mark it as soon as it's like as it starts to go down, that's like the dry end point, and it marks it pretty darn consistently in the exact spot. It's pretty cool. Okay, next one. What I'm a little bit worried about is that I'm going to end up finding that grinding one bean and doing this testing this way is not going to be enough. Because the coarsest setting was like 1083 as the D50. And now here the second coarsest, well not second coarsest, the fifth coarsest, because I did one whole number, is proving to be coarser, but we'll see once we get down to all the rest of the particles that are in there. But see, that's going to even pull it up higher because we still got quite a few massive particles on there. We shall see! Next one. Ooh, our electron's dropping. What are we at? 100 almost. Okay, we're still good. We're still going to stop at 65. Wait, what's our RPM? 45. It really does just like stop at 45. It seems like they don't want you going lower than 45. It didn't disperse. Cancel that. What do we have? 100 and something still. Okay. 90. I've heard the only way to get a truly uniform course is to use a roller style coffee grinder. Interesting. I've never heard of that. I want to get one now. Alright, I'm just going to manually bring this down. It probably just thinks it's because it turns like yellow. It's probably like, what are you doing? Why? Why would you do that? But it's okay. I'm a genius. That's why. I'm really curious how that's going to affect it. We're at 83. I guess I don't really need to be over here yet. But I should probably be ready, so I'll stand on this side. What was that? 937. We're going to... Don't tell anyone. I like that I can look at my computer to see what's on OmniFlux over there. 77, right? Alright, I'm going to get ready to drop. $78. Let's see, if we look at this coffee, that's pretty uniform. There's a couple beans like this one, it's a little bit lighter. Where are we at? Alright, we're at 71. We're close. 70, 69, 68. Might fluctuate a little bit because it's just an average of whatever it's seeing there. 68, 67, 66. I'll wait for it to drop right below 65 and then kind of pop back up. 67, 66, 67, 66. 65, 64, 65, and drop. Okay. It was actually look weird. Like this bean. Let's come take a look at it on the other side. This has nothing to do with the roasting of it, but look at this bean. I don't know if you can really see it. There's like a crack down the middle. But it's like a regular bean. Looks like it's a bean on both sides. It's like the inside of the bean on both sides. me close this. The roast is pretty smart. It might just be trying to keep you from roasting bad coffee. Yeah, that's kind of what I expected. In fact, there's a guy, he actually just left Deep Fluid, and I'm really disappointed about it because he is really awesome. But he is very into roasting coffee, and when I go to China, he's gonna teach me. I'm gonna do roasting classes with him, and he was telling me about. I asked him what machine he likes to roast on, and he was saying out of the ones at the office, he likes to use the gas machines because they're so much more powerful. And he was like, but the roast is like it's the hardest to screw up. It's like the most consistent and easy to use, which pluses and minuses for having started with it. Ooh, JRP James, I'll get this guy's Deep Fluid. Just so you know, Ben, JRP James is, I met him in 8th grade and has been the, like, how should I describe him? The epitome of sandpaper. No, I was just trying to be really confusing. I don't really know what I was going to say. He's been like my best friend since 8th grade, and he lives very nearby, and I was just talking to him earlier about Metroid Prime 4. So that'll tell you everything you need to know. Okay, let's measure the particle size there. That'll probably bring the average down a little bit. So let's test. What do we get? 405. Oh my god, no way! It brought the average down so much that it's pretty much right on par with what I measured the last time. Literally last time it was 1083 for the slightly larger, slightly coarser part. Grind settings, what I meant. So maybe if I get the whatever's left in here, I think there's a tiny bit more mega fineness. Maybe it'll be right spot on. It was meant to be. You sure? Yeah, isn't that crazy? When we were in high school, it was really funny because there were 4 Jameses in our like vicinity. Me, him, this Asian guy that we didn't know very well, and this one guy that we really didn't like. And we were like, why do we have to have like one guy that shares our name that's like not awesome? Then it turned out it was not his real name, and he didn't like his real name, so he went by ours instead. I definitely didn't measure the Baratza correctly last week. Yeah, it's hard when you have to get so many samples. It would be much more ideal to have like a dedicated like large sample particle analyzer, but at the same time, I've learned a lot just by doing this, and so I'm kind of glad that I'm doing it. But I need to slide in here and get some containers to put the coffee in and label them before I start forgetting what's what. So, let's do the first one. Thank you, Roast, for having this genius attachment here that just goes perfecto molecto. And then, thank you, Alibaba, for having these delightful coffee cans. I actually haven't really showed anybody these things, but the reason that I got these is because I hate plastic. Like, I despise plastic. And look at this. They've even got like a valve and everything, and so they hold like exactly the right amount of coffee. And so this is just what I've been doing every time. The only disappointing thing is that valve is actually made out of plastic. Don't tell anyone. But they're great. And I've been using them for experimentation, but eventually I'm going to use them to send people coffee. So I don't have to use those plastic bags. Okay, so this coffee, we'll go back to it later. My garbage tape. It's really hard to peel off without it tearing. There's a label on it. And we're going to call this, where'd my pen go? Where'd my pen go? Oh, I lost my pen. My toddy pen. But I got it ROEST somewhere. Okay, so this is Dennis with one N. Dennis, we're going to call it hot and fast. Number 1, 65 was the goal, but I didn't actually measure what I actually got yet. And I'm going to call this, what was it? 65 to 45 RPM. Okay, so that's this one, coffee 1. And then the next one, same thing, piece of tape. I'm going to stick it on here, and we're going to call this one, did I pick up the new AeroPress yet? No! I've been debating and debating and debating and debating, and then the other day I saw someone post on Reddit, well, I broke it! And it was just this sad picture of this smashed AeroPress Premium, and he was like, it was my fault, but I had it sitting on the counter and I bumped it with my arm and it fell over, and I'm like, oh, I would totally do that. But at the same time, like, I want it. I'm having a really hard time deciding. So this is Dennis Hot and Fast 2. 65, and this is also 65 to 35 RPM. Okay, and let's just dump her in. Dump her in. Dump her in. Dump her in. Shazam. Slide that back in. Alright. Spin that. You gotta spin everything. If you don't spin stuff when you put it on, it doesn't count. You don't know which, I don't know if these were spilled from that one or not, so I'm just putting them in my dead tray. And lid on, batch number 2. Alright, now for batch number 3, before we do it, I'm just gonna quickly see if I can get the last of the coffee, whatever is in here, and see what my final result is. Oh yeah, there's lots of little fines in there. I almost thought that this was my last one. Sorry, the last one before this was my last one. Oh, and I think I forgot to do this time. No, we're good. There's nothing, no retention there. Okay, let's give it our final test and see what our final result is. Test. That's kind of exactly what I expected. So this one, 219 for all the last little bit of fines that were in there. Can you see that clearly? And that brought our final number down to 1030. So if I push done here, 1030 gets filled into that spot there. And we're done. And let me make sure, 1030, if I go here and I open this up, yeah, see, all of our data is still there. How awesome is that? So for every single space that you measure, when I go back to it, there it is. Unfortunately, this setting does not have the data because I had to save it all in here because of an oversight from this version of, so yeah, 340. Wait, 340? Oh, that's what I just tested. Okay. Okay, so if I go up to my history here, let me go M68, 000, okay, 350. So this was actually the data from 350. And yeah, 1083 was the result. Started out mega coarse exactly the same way, but then as you get down towards the bottom, the last result, 257. So yeah, so let's go back to our grinder manager. Kinu M68. So if I look at the curve, right now it's going to look super weird because the other two settings here, we've got 1083, 82, 81, 1079, 1077, but then randomly 1030. So you got to go up here and you go to auto update, and what it'll do is recalculate everything based on the ones that you filled in that it actually has data for. But I've never done that before because I've never actually gotten to the point where I was ready to do this. And so now I'm kind of scared because I've never tested this and there could be a bug that I didn't know about. So I'm actually going to record my screen right now just in case there's a bug that needs to be fixed. But I'm really, fingers crossed, I trust my developers. I believe auto update. 176 grinders will be estimated based on manually inputted particle sizes. All update reminders will be cleared. So that's just to be clear what that means is like the you can turn on reminders so that it's like, oh, it's been a certain amount of time, you should probably recheck these grind settings. And some grinders only have like 25 settings, so if you wanted, you could test all of them. And it will mark which ones you've actually checked and which ones you haven't. But if you don't feel like checking all of them, but you want it to like recalculate based on what you've already entered, I can press auto update now. And so, did it do it? Well, that's not right. Well, there's a bug. My apologies, but at least I found out now, so we can get that fixed. Okay, because now it shows 1030 here, but 1070. Oh, maybe it just didn't update. I'm going to turn this off. I'm going to force quit the app. I think it's possible that it just didn't update. Okay, we're reconnected to Omni. Let me go to the grinder manager, and we're going to go to our Kinu M68. Yeah, the curve looks different. I bet it updated now. Nope. Now it says 1075 here. It did not properly, so please say it didn't delete my data. Please say it didn't delete my data. Okay, well at least it still has my data, and it still shows 1030. Now when I exit, it shows 1030 again. I'm just going to try that again, just so I can see. I'm going to record it again in case there's a bug. But so, if I go in here, clearly data's correct. Done, shows up here. Now we're going to go auto update, auto update. Now this went back to 1075, which is not what it should do. That's discouraging, because that means that if I keep doing, well, actually won't matter because, so I can keep testing because even though the system's not working correctly, it is saving the data and I can still get it back. So it's still worth recording because then later once that bug is fixed, I can go back in here and just re-update by just opening it and back up to the data that I have, and then it's here. So we good. Glad I discovered this now, so let's continue. Next one we're going to do is 3 rotations, 3 numbers, 0 clicks, and we're going to go ever so slightly coarser. But it's kind of hard to tell which one is on the dot and which one is 1 click. That's on the dot. Okay, so that's the 3. Okay, but first let's get some coffee in here. Alright, grab this guy, dump out the coffee grounds I threw in there. Okay. Let's do a quick bean sweep. Actually, you know what? This will be interesting. I'm gonna pour that in there. Dump this back. Close up my bag. And then what I'm gonna do this time is the exact reverse of what I just did. And if I do the exact reverse, I'll be able to know if no server connection, why? There should be. You're connected to Wi-Fi. I mean, clearly it's connected to Wi-Fi because clearly I'm live streaming. It says my stream's current bitrate is 2,381. So I'm still going to need to lower my bitrate further, but at least it's better than it was before. But so let me go to my roast curves, profiles. It says it's connected, but no server connection. I don't understand. Okay, so hot and fast. And I'm going to totally just reverse it. We're going to start. Oh. We're going to start up here. We're going to bring it down to 35. And then here, we're going to go up to 65. And we're going to stay 65 until the end of the roast. It's probably not going to like that. So update profile. Sometimes my stream splits in two. Powerful stuff. Yeah, I've never had the problem where my live stream splits in two, but my regular stream splits all the time. 65, save as new. I don't need to save it as new. Okay, so I just need to go up here, to sync. Let's see if it syncs. So it syncs but still says no server connection. I don't understand. Whatever! Okay, so then we need to lower our drum speed to 35. And we're ready to launch. 3, 2, 1, go! Cool. We're begun. Who are you gonna call? With my voice. Okay. I forgot what I was gonna do. Live. Okay, so is it just gonna show nothing because it's just connected to server up here. But the machine itself is not connected to the server. But it is connected to Wi-Fi, so I really don't understand what's going on. I don't know how to reconnect it to the server. It just says no server connection. It clearly downloaded the profile. So I don't know what to do. So I'm just going to have to leave it disconnected, and I guess we're just only going to be looking at the ROEST, this guy here. Because we officially don't have access to the other, and I don't know why. I don't know why, but it shows here that it is clearly connected to Wi-Fi. But I don't know why it's not connecting to the server. And it's already at 46. It like auto boosted its way up really fast. It's really interesting. So it doesn't like slower than 45, and it really likes 55, and then it's like about 65. Okay. So I think what actually the bug on this software, I think what happened is it said manually entered, and I think that the software is forgetting to take into account that autofill by the device counts as manually filling it in, not necessarily typing the number. So that's going to have to be fixed. Before we move on to our next bean, I'm going to solve another center. Let's go for blue because it's opposite the green while we rise in an Agtron. So we've got two blues. We need a blue center, which is here, so we'll move that around to here. And then we've got two here, and we need one more, so let's move this one. And we can put this on the same side, so we got 2 bars. Now we just need a third bar. Third bar. Oop. And last piece, and then put it in place. And we got 2 centers. Now we just need one more center because that'll be fun. Okay, so there's the and then that goes there, and so we can get the yellow one, and then okay, so we've got the yellow center, we've got the green center, and we've got the blue center. Let's move on to coffee! See, gotta spin it. Right? Nice. Okay, next one. We need one more bean. One more Sprouts bean. Okay. Alright, we're dropping an Agtron now, officially. It's marking the dry end point. Make sure there's nothing here. And we're at 330. Alright, let's do it. That took a lot of effort to grind that one bean. A lot of effort indeed. Backwards a little bit. What agtron are we at? Still above 100? Yeah, we're still above 100, so we're doing alright. 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 And there's our bean. Should I make a thumbnail picture? Alright. Our first... Oh, wait. You know what? I'm going to get my surgical instrument out. And I'm going to see if I can pluck out the chaff before I do this, so that the chaff doesn't get in my way. What are we at? Uh-oh, I think we're, I can't really see. It might be 90, but I might be too late. Okay, we're at 85. I think we're doing all right. Check it out on this camera. Let me grab another piece of chaff. Wait, what? Oh, there we go. And then there's one more. One more big one that's going to cause me annoyance. There we go. Alright, thank you, surgical tools. I can go back. What are we at? What are we at? What are we at? 72? Alright, we're almost there. 65 is what we're going for. 72. 70. 67. We're at 65 RPM. Whoa, there was suddenly a big jump. Alright, I'm calling it. I think I've got beans stuck back here. No, I do. I actually have quite a lot of beans back there. I probably, whoops, I don't know if you can see that. I said earlier that my first batch looked really uniform. Was I referring to color? Yeah, I was referring to color. Because, let me let this cool down real quick, but you'll find like, let's see, let me give you a good example. Because, like I was saying, this machine is so good that I'm not 100% sure, like, if there's something that's not ideal. It's probably not the machine, but it could be the way I'm roasting, it could be the settings that I've chosen, it could be the beans themselves. Like, I don't really know, and so, like, for example, like this. Those beans are clearly not the same, but I actually think this one's just got chaff on it still. I'm not sure. I think yes. Not 100% sure on that. This one too, I think it just still has chaff on it. But if we look at the other side, what's the other side look like? Yeah, look at the difference there. But also, that bean is way bigger, and this one is way smaller. So, no close-ups for you! Yeah, of course. Okay, now it's dry. And by dry, I mean, look what I did. Okay, can you see that? No. Okay, so, I must have had beans fall down the back behind this, behind the tray at the back. Oh, that's hot. And so it's been making it so that the tray isn't going in all the way, and so I've been losing beans behind the tray each time, and I didn't notice until just now. And so because of that, look how much I've officially wasted. Well, that's hot. Okay, let me show you this way. Whoops-a-doodle. It probably tastes good, but it's mixed with raw beans. So I guess that's going to be garbage. And by garbage, I mean compost. Alright, let me throw that back in there, and let's take a closer look. So, let me, oops. It looks pretty damn even, but at the same time, like, if you look extremely closely, like that bean and that bean are slightly different. It's going to be really fun when I have the next tool that's coming on CoffeeOS. It's the color analyzer. And so you'll be able to get like a more easily comparable, like in the same way that the particle analyzer works, like but for color. So it'll be really interesting to take lots of samples and see how that looks, especially with the whole distribution. But a lot of it is chaff looks different, but overall that looks pretty good. And this was the more normal roast where it started out slower and went faster rather than starting out fast and getting slower. It could be a Quaker unique, more dense. It seems like there's quite a few of those. On average, these beans are pretty similar, but there's like, maybe not even in this batch. But I do get quite a few of those little micro beans. Okay, should we do another one? Put this guy here. Now that that's cleared out, we can get in there further. Okay, for this one, what are we going to do differently? What should we do fun? Let's, it doesn't look very even on stream. It could be chaff though. The color analyzer would be great. Yeah, I think it's the chaff because this is washed. Wait, natural? Washed. Washed. It's washed. Yeah, but definitely the, let me bring it back up again. There's quite a bit of like this kind of chaff. And then like, I'm not sure if there's chaff on there or not, because there are little like spots on it that are more dark. But it also depends on like which side of the bean, because one side looks different than the other one in terms of darkness. Let's see how the other one looked. I didn't, before I put a new batch in, let me take this, and let's look at the last one, especially now that it's cool. So this was the hot and fast number 2, 65 to 35. Lots of chaff falling out everywhere. That looks less even, doesn't it? But at the same time, like, what is that? It's like a cracked bean, but the color is really weird. It looks almost like not even roasted, but that could just be more chaff. And it kind of seems like it is. But also it seems like it isn't. Does it look more or less even than the last one to you? To me it looks way less even. roast one more. Okay. Thanks, roast. My mom texted me and said, "Why did you spell roast R-O-E-S-T?" I'm like, watch the stream and you'll find out. Way less. Yeah, that's what it seems like to me. So, maybe as like a control, let's try not to contaminate that sample. I'm going to put this here for now. As like a control, first thing, I'm going to plug Omni in actually because I don't want it to die before we finish our testing. And I believe that this phone is probably at full battery, which it pretty much is. So I'm going to take the charge from there, and I'm going to hand it on off to 6% battery. Okay, let's get one last batch ready. And this time, as a compromise, let's just do 45 all the way across. And we'll see what happens. Alright, sample prepared. Put it in. Too many times I have not checked and then realized that I left it open. All the beans fall through and then I didn't have one of these guys in there, and so it fell into the basket thing and then fell into the like ventilation, and I had to like clean it all out. It took forever. I did that like 4 times. Okay, let's change our roast profile real quick. I don't know why it's still disconnected from the server. Let me try one more time. Let's go to service. No. Let's go to Wi-Fi. Scan. We will tap to disconnect. Wait a little bit. Reconnect. It's connected. The antenna's in there just fine. I don't know. I don't know. Guess we're just not connected to the server. Okay, so let's go back to our Roastaminator. Profiles, then is hot and fast. And we're going to change it to 45. And we're going to stay at 45 the whole time. So you can't delete that point, so we're going to 45. Update profile, sync, copy done is hot and fast. Okay, and back to OBS, and restart this, and roast. Cool. Drink some water. And now we are ready to do some particle analysis. So, take a scoop of massive particles. Alright, so like I was saying this before with the first ones, I'm just gonna do this to avoid losing any. Test. This is 330. So 1559. Just realized if it is plugged in, I can't move it over here, so I'm just going to try to do it really fast. Okay. That's one. Test number two. Test. What do we have? Still no color change. We good. Okay. Test number three. We are at 1352, average of 1466 so far. Which doesn't really tell us much since all the fines are at the bottom. What are we at? Colors rising. Color still. Hey, we reconnected to the server. Look at that. 1497. I wonder if the machine stores old roasts. So, like, if you weren't connected to the server, does it retroactively upload them to the server when it reconnects? Starting to drop in color now. 1053. Okay. Yeah. Just over 100, 108. 536 on that one. That really brought the average down. I don't know what you're saying yes to. There must have been so much of a delay that I don't remember what you said or what I said. Okay, probably last one, maybe last two. I gotta get all the fines out. Yeah, there's still some in there. Oh. $5.68. Where we at? 93. Still got some time. That was a weird sound. Did you hear that? It was like, "Wah!" Where we at? 85. 400. Okay, I think there's about one more is left in there. We're at 1,056 is our average. We're at 79. And we're about ready to call it quits. Pretty sure the roast log is stored in the machine and sync. Ah, I remember now. 76. 73. 72. God, I love having Airwave. I always forget about the roasting smoke thing. And then the other day I was doing a dark roast, and every time I would drop the beans, the slightest little smoke would enter the room from the drop tray, and it would immediately set the fire alarm off. And it's like, damn, Airwave must be insanely effective. 69. 67. All right. Alright, Airwave, you can cool down because I don't actually need you anymore. It says 64.6 is what it thinks that I dropped it at. Alright, let's finish what we were doing. And also, I'm going to shut down Mr. Roast, which actually says that it is not connected. Oh, it didn't reconnect to the server. Never mind. I just realized we're just looking at my roast curve. Which interestingly kind of looks like the color curve. But yeah, it never reconnected. So I'm just going to shut down. I'm going to let it keep doing its thing though. And let's do our last test here. Low power mode, that's fine. Oh wait, actually I don't want low power mode. Because then it will turn my screen off when I don't want it to. Alright, so we're getting the last little micro fines that are in here. Okay, I think that's everything that's coming out of there, and let's just make sure. What's up? I just heard a scream come from the kitchen, but it was like a startle, not a scream. I saw them those the other day. I didn't tell you. Roasted! Okay, last test. Let's see how it goes. Test. Ooh, that brought it down to 967. That's pretty interesting, actually. Because that's, that was only one whole number, but it brought it down quite a bit, actually. Done. See, it automatically updated it, but it didn't update the rest of them, and when I hit auto update, it just loses the ones that I did. Okay, so once that's fixed, it'll be fun. Do the logs sink or float? Ah! They float, obviously. Okay, so the next thing that I'm going to do, I'm not going to do another one of these, and I'm not going to do another one of those. I need to bottle these. I think I'm going to do color checking on another episode once, because that color analyzer should come really soon. On Monday, we've got a meeting to talk about the small details, and then it'll be coming real soon. So I'm going to wait to do the color tests on all of these until that's ready, because that'll be a fun stream. So in the meantime, let me write these down. So this one is Dennis, hot and fast, 3. And I don't remember what I did. It was oh, this is the one where I started at 35. And then we went up to 65, didn't we? That one's 65 to 35, and this one was 65 to 45. Yeah, so this one was 35 to 65. We ended at 65, but I don't know if I actually hit it or not. And then this one is going to be the last one. Try not to get them mixed up. And this one is also Dennis Hot and Fast. Dennis Hot and Fast. And this one was 45 to 45. And also dropped at 65. So this one's the last one. So this one we already took a look at. This one was the one that was okay, even better than the other one, I thought. I think. Okay. I think I can turn this off now. And this one we have not had a chance to look at yet. So this one $45 all the way across. This one actually doesn't look that even either. Now, clearly, like this and this and that and this and that, that's all chaff. So you kind of got to ignore that. But even still, I think it's actually better without the light. So, yeah, I can see why you said on stream it looks super uneven. But it's because beams like that one right there, that's just like light reflecting off the chaff. So if I were to take and actually rub the chaff off on that one and then put it back in the same spot, it actually makes a huge difference. So that's that beam right there. Now it blends in super well. Like this one too. Like I'm looking at it on the screen and it looks really uneven. But if I look at it in person, you can clearly see like what's chaff and what's not. But even still, outside of the chaff, I don't know, because I'm not that experienced, like in what does a really, really, really even roast look like? How, like, realistically even can it get? Does it literally look like I can't even see where the bean starts and where it ends. It's just one solid color all the way across. I don't know. So I'm going to put this in here. How much chaff did we accumulate from just those roasts today? Here's our day's worth of chaff. Snap a high-res pic for me. I will do that. I already put it in the can. There. You mean of all of them, or do you mean of just one specifically? And when you say high res, how high res are we talking? Here, let me just pour this back in here. And I will take the amount of high res that I'm going to give you is iPhone 12. Interestingly though, like even on the camera, it's really weird. Like, in fact, you can see this. So, you see that weird looking bean right there? In real life, that is a weird looking bean. But, like, let's go with this one right here. That bean, right above my finger. That one looks very differently colored on this screen that I'm looking at right now. And I'm going to take this photo. But when I look at it in real life, that's this bean. And I swear, if I take that bean out, don't worry, I got the right bean. And then this one, and then this one. And we look at them right next to each other. So that's a random bean, that's a different random bean. And this is the one we were just talking about. Are they different? Slightly. Not really though. Whoops. They look pretty much the same. Like give or take a little bit. How close can I get? That's the one. Yeah, they do seem kind of varied. Alright, going back in. Love this machine. I'm sad that I'm going to have to give the machine back. I hope that I can convince ROEST to continuously leave it with me on loan for the foreseeable future. Okay, so that was hard and fast, 45 to 45. Okay, so we will do color analysis on that later. Not yet. In the meantime, the last thing that I got to do today is finish this. So we've already got one white strip, but we do need to fix the centers. So I'm going to have to use one of those strips. And then we need, here we go. And then we've got these two white ones, and we need the last white one. Drum roasting does have more variation, I've noticed, but I do think it's that roasting uneven, not necessarily bad though. I'll have to try the counterflow next time. I can't use OmniFlux with the counterflow because obviously it needs to be able to see the beams. And the beams kind of shoot behind the glass and you can't see them anymore on the roast. So I'll have to not track the color when I try that, but I'm really curious to see what the results are. Okay, so that's the last white bar. Let me put it in place. So the hardest part about the 5x5 is getting the last two centers because you don't have other centers that you can store pieces on. So let's see if I remember how to do this. I have one piece left and I gotta remember there's this weird, like, you kind of go like here and then here and then here and then here. Ha-ha! Remember, okay, so got all the centers, then you have to do the edges, and I used to suck at it, but somehow, like, over time, even though I wasn't practicing it, I got better at it. So we've got blue and white, and then the last blue and white is here, so I'm going to flip it, match it up, so we got the three together, and then we take it out of the way. Then we've got the next one, which is that's when, but where's the last red and white center? There's two orange and whites. Red and white, red and white. There's the third one. So I'm going to put it down onto the same level. I'm going to match up the two top and bottom ones. And then, where's the center? There. Okay, so we line it up so we got three together. And then take them out of the way again, and then put the centers back. Then we've got green and white, where's the last green and white? You can see it around here, last green and white, last green and white. What about the last orange and white? Oh, there's green and white. Okay, so just spin it around there. And the last orange and white is right there. So we can also do the orange and white at the same time. Put the centers back. Okay, now we've got green and red. We've got the top and bottom green and red together. Now we got the top and bottom green and blue and orange together. And then blue and red. Where's the blue and reds? It's always my slowest part because I can never find the pieces that I need. And then blue and yellow. Here's two blue and yellows, here and here. But where's the last blue and yellow? Where's the last blue and yellow? What the heck? Blue and yellow. Blue and yellow. Oh, there it is. Okay, up at the top. Okay, so okay, top and bottom together with the last one, and then fix it. Then we've got blue and orange. Oh, here we've got green and yellow. Sorry, yellow and orange. Orange. Green and yellow. Green and yellows together. Oh, there it is. Okay, and then so we've got all of the tops and bottoms together. Now we just got to get the this one's not right. where is the last yellow and, oh there it is, yellow and orange. Okay, get that out of the way, and then we've got, okay, and green and orange. Okay, so these 4 edges are solved. These 3 edges are solved. We've got a couple more, so that's the last one. So it's just the ones around here. So this one's good because they're the same. And then I just got to do these last 2. So this and this. I have to flip spaces. So we got to go. The algorithm goes like this. Let me try to remember it. It's these 2, this one, these 2. Damn it! That was wrong. Okay, well, I ain't giving up. Oh, wait. Oh, never mind. That was close, but it was not right. Oh, and I screwed up in the center. Hold on. Damn. Hold on. So this needs to go, and then this needs to go here, and then okay, center's resolved. I should have attempted that algorithm. I don't even think I needed to do it. Okay, wait, oh, wait, what? Oh, never mind. You're good. False alarm. Okay, so green and white, or green and whites are all screwed up. But I am pretty sure we can get them together. Okay, green and whites are together. Green and yellows. Okay, top and bottom, green and yellows together. Okay, green and yellows are together, green and oranges and yellows are together. And then pull that go, this has to be here, and then I can do that. Okay. And then green and oranges can be together. And then that can go together. Okay, we're back to the back to where we were. So we've got the last four edges. Okay, that edge is together. That edge is together, well, almost together. That would be right, but we don't have enough space. Okay, so it's just the centers now, which means I can do my favorite technique. Turn this around, and then, wait. Okay, so we can just, wait, no, don't turn that around. So we can go, turn that around and put it back. Okay, so this edge is together, that edge is together, this edge is together. Okay, so we've got the exact same situation that we had in the last one here, where because these edges are flipped like this, these two are flipped, and I can easily just do this. And now they're together and correct, but we've got one left. And the problem with that means I have to do the same algorithm that I screwed up on that last one. And I might be able to get it. So let me see if I got this, otherwise I'm going to totally screw it up, in which case I'm just going to quit. But I think I got this. Okay, so it's... Okay, so it's either... No, it has to be wrong. Damn! What did I do wrong? I swear that was right. It didn't fully screw it up though, so I still have a chance. Damn. That actually might have still flipped it. I might have accidentally succeeded anyway. Even though I didn't succeed. Let me see. Nope, back in the exact same spot. Alright, I'm trying again. I know it's these two, then back, then top. Then this goes down, then the top. Then this goes down, then the top. Then the front. Then this goes back up, and the front. Then this goes back up, then the front. And the back, and the top. Why doesn't it work? I swear that was the algorithm. Alright, last try. I think, again, I was wrong last time, but I think again that may have still flipped it. It's possible that I won't have to do it one more time. But if I do have to do it one more time, I'm just asking ChatGPT. Because at this point, it's taking too long. Omni's already charged to 34%. Green and red. Work? It may have worked. Nope. Same place. One flipped edge. Okay, hold on one sec. This is getting ridiculous. I am going to ask ChatGPT. Give me the algorithm on a 4x4, even though this isn't a 4x4, flip. Okay. We're about to find out exactly what I was doing wrong. And it is the following. It goes like this. That's why you're supposed to turn both back layers twice. Okay, so let me go back over here. So it's there we go. Wait, what? Well, that's ridiculous. It did it, but it also didn't do it. I think I was not supposed to turn the back layer like GPT said, but it had the rest of the algorithm, which means that it definitely succeeded, even though it screwed up my centers, which means more than likely this time, actually, not fakely like last time, is actually a success, even though it was not a success. Okay, so and then this is the, yep, there it is, because I know how to do this part. So it did flip the edge, but it also screwed everything else up. But now it's just a matter of solving a 3x3 and then end of stream. We roasted some good coffee, we measured some good particle size, we had some great times had by all, and now it is officially, whoa, I almost broke the cube. I said, now it is about officially, not even quite officially, but it will be official very soon, because I'm going to get the center done, the whole side's done, and then so yeah, so like I was saying, it is officially, and for real officially this time, none of that fake officiality like I had before. It is officially the end of the stream. Thanks for watching, guys. If you were here for the coffee, I apologize to end with the Rubik's Cube, but I had to. So, join us next time and we'll do more fun roasting experiments. And lots more with CoffeeOS. I love how I can see how the lag went because I just saw your success now. Alright, I'm going to press the stop stream button so you can see how long the lag was for yourself. Thanks for watching, Ben. I don't know if you're still here, James. See you, James, and anyone else who's watching.